Hello, welcome to the Productive Wellbeing Show. I'm so excited to be here with you today. I am joined by Melanie Moore for a conversation all about tapping into your big vision. Melanie, welcome to the show.
Hi, Abigail. Thanks for having me. You've actually got two of us on the show. You've got me and you've got Bitsy, my sleepy dog here. I've got her on my lap just because she does get a little bit distracted and she's often howling in the background when I'm interviewing. So I thought I'll have her here on my lap.
Amazing. Love having pets on the show. This is so fun. So let me just do a quick intro to Melanie. Melanie is the UK's leading vision board expert and an award-winning coach. She inspires her clients to tap into their big vision and gives them the mindset tools to change the trajectory of their life. She helps people who are at a crossroads in their life to get clear on their big vision and then commit to this vision by taking bold actions towards their goals and creating their dream lives. Melanie, I am so excited to have this conversation with you today because goals, visions, all of this, where should we start? Like, a lot of people that you speak to will say, oh yeah, I've got a goal. But when you actually ask them what the goal is, they might be a little bit wishy-washy. When you say, why are you doing what you're doing? What do you want to do? It never really comes clear. So just talk to us a little bit about the power of goals.
Well, the thing is, I think when we want to create anything in our lives, and, I literally mean anything, you've got to kind of have a little idea of a picture of what it looks like, the end result, the destination. I've got two teenagers at home, so we're talking a lot about this at the moment, just in terms of, what they want to do in the future. And of course, I do it with my clients as well. And as you mentioned in the introduction there, particularly women at a crossroads in their lives as well, that, very often, and I've been, and the crossroads I'm talking about are, when you become a mum, or when your children start school, or when, perhaps, your marriage might end or relationship ends, or your children have flown the nest. Now, 3 out of those 4, my children haven't flown the nest yet, but I've been at all of those crossroads where I'm just kind of thinking, well, what's next? What do I do next? And very often, and I think how most people live is that we just react. We wait for things to happen, and we might have a loose idea of what we want to do, but when we actually give ourselves some time and space to really connect with what our heart and what our soul truly desire, this is when we can open up to possibilities. We can open up to, let's go a bit woo-woo, the magic of the universe supporting us in, creating the lives that we've always wanted. Because, as children, we naturally have big goals, big dreams, big aspirations. Little children are so ambitious. When you hear them speak, they want to be astronauts. They want to do incredible things. But then, what happens is parents come along and, tell them to be more realistic, or that's never going to happen. You want to do this, you want to do that. And, I believe with all my heart and soul that we all have passions, things buried deep inside of us that, because life's kind of got in the way, we don't really allow ourselves to take action, or, even allow ourselves to firstly to dream, to think about what we really want. So that's the first step in goals. It's firstly having a bigger vision picture, but then it's kind of condensing that down a bit into more, what are things I've put on hold? What are things I want to do? What are things that are still inside of me? People call it, the music inside of you. And just, very briefly, there was a blog post that I read years ago. It's called The 5 Regrets of the Dying by Bronnie Ware. And that struck me so deeply when I read that, I don't know what the statistic is, but Bronnie Ware, she was a palliative care nurse that was, nursing people at the end of their lives. And she could see that the biggest regret of the dying was that they didn't live the life that they wanted to. They lived the lives that other people expected of them. And that made me think, I just want to help people to get clear on what this is, but then also to take action. But part of that is creating that vision to get clear. And we need some time and space to do that. So that's a very big answer to your question.
Amazing. I love it. I love it. And it's so important to think like, am I making the most of my life? Am I making the most of my time? So I'm sort of time management trainer, author, and my whole mission really around that is to help people to recognize that your time is creating your life. But so then that's where what we do works so well together, because if you've not got a vision that you're working towards, then you've got no motivation to change how you manage your time. And sometimes people say, oh, I'm procrastinating, and you dig a little bit deeper and sort of you're asking, but do you know why you're doing what you're doing? Do you have any idea of where you're going? Like, do you want to go there? And it all starts to unfold from there. So let's imagine, I get this quite a lot, and you must too, people who say, but I don't know what I want. What would sort of be a quick answer to someone who's sort of in that pain point place right now, and they're saying, I don't know what I want, I don't have a vision, I don't have a purpose, I just want to feel better, what should I do?
I think a really quick answer to that would be, what are you good at and what do you love doing? Because our work, how we spend our time has to be enjoyable. We have to love what we're doing, and it's usually something that we're good at as well. And there are so many examples of people in the entrepreneurial world who've literally honed in on what they're good at. Marie Kondo springs to mind. As a little girl, she loved tidying and organizing, and some people just love that. And to make an actual brand, a global kind of phenomena out of it with best-selling books, a Netflix show when she doesn't even speak English, is just incredible. And I know that's quite an extreme example, but many people don't even just ask themselves that question, because we then end up kind of settling for what I should be doing. But I think when we can, and I think this is when it's important to have that time to, I'm a meditation teacher as well, and I think when we have that quiet time and space to think, because it's never going to happen when you're busy and surrounded by all the noise. It's just not going to come to you. You've just got to give yourself that time. There's nothing more important than creating the rest of your life. Time is ticking, and we have to make the most of it.
So let's play that devil's advocate card then. So you've said, well, what do you enjoy doing? And the person says, I enjoy sitting on the sofa watching Netflix. What's your answer then? Because this comes up all the time. I don't know. I enjoy watching TV.
Yeah. So I think there are behaviors that we can do to numb what is actually really going on inside of ourselves. And it's to really ask ourselves the question, am I truly happy right now? Am I really kind of is there something that's niggling away at me? And sometimes people do just zone into things like Netflix and zone out, or drink a bit too much, or just do anything to avoid confronting that question. And do you know what? And I am an optimist, rose-tinted glasses person by nature. And I would say, well, actually, if you love Netflix that much, you could be, a TV buff, or some kind of review the shows. You could create a blog. And, how many times do you see that question asked? Oh, what should I watch on Netflix? What's good on Netflix at the moment? If you love it that much, you could become an expert on it. But, I'm sure that's probably not going to be the answer for most people. I would give yourself some time to, and I take people through guided meditations. I take people through some, a series of questions of, because I could talk about the 4 pillars of your big vision. And these are the pillars of abundance. And that includes how you make your money, your work, your success. So it's a pillar of abundance. There's a pillar of health, your pillar of relationships, and the pillar of your environment, which is obviously your home. So I ask people, which area of your life is causing you the most pain right now? Which area needs immediate action? What do you need to overhaul right now? And it's generally going to fall in one of those categories. And when we can kind of get clear on, what we need to take action first, and I then, say to people, right, make a vision board on, what your ideal life would look like in each of those 4 categories, but then, hone in on maybe 1 or 2 that you're going to take the most action on, even in the next 90 days. 90 days is a long enough space of time to do something significant, but it's short enough amount of time to see some real tangible results as well. But obviously I know you have your 888 method, and there may be some kind of correlation there.
No, I love this. It really sounds like they cross over. And thank you for adding that. And it is so incredible how we have this is what I want, but then people just can't seem to get to it. It's almost like it's behind a window. And maybe I would add, like, if you're watching Netflix and you're saying that that's what you enjoy, look at what you're watching, because it might be that what you're watching is what you enjoy. So maybe that's where the answer is. Like, the clues are always there, aren't they? They're everywhere around us. And it's only when you look back that suddenly you can start to join them up and see, oh, wow, that's so interesting. So there's a clue in the title of today's episode, tapping into your big vision. What does tapping have to do with goal setting and with visions and vision boarding and all of this amazing stuff?
Okay, so quick background of me. I started I originally worked in broadcasting as a journalist, and then I spent 10 years in headhunting and recruitment. Before, about 12 years ago, I then moved into holistic therapies. I've always had an interest in alternative healing, holistic therapies. And after my children were born, I was, looking for a way to just change my life. So my big vision then was really nothing more than having a business where I could, look after the kids, but then when they were at school, have my own holistic therapy practice. But so I had 2 aspects of this. I trained as an EFT practitioner, tapping practitioner, and at the time I was really helping women with childbirth, pregnancy, and all that kind of stuff. But on the other side, I was also doing vision board workshops. I was massively into personal development. So I'd literally these 2 separate businesses, vision board workshops where I would hire venues, people would come to me, we'd make vision boards. That kind of grew as well. And, I also do vision board days for corporate companies, sales teams, as well as individuals. But then I just literally had this light bulb moment one day where I'd always primarily been using EFT, helping women overcome their pregnancy fears and childbirth fears and all that kind of stuff. But then I realized, after people making their vision boards, I was literally off they went. I'd wave goodbye to them. They'd have beautiful vision boards with the Maldives and, big mansions. Everyone's vision boards look the same. But then I realized, there's actually a big missing piece here. I needed to help people get clear on what their vision was through tapping, through just taking them on a little journey of releasing limiting beliefs that I'm not good enough, I'm too old. There's about 8 different core beliefs that people go through before the vision emerges. But then once they've made the vision board, it's then, what are the beliefs that are standing in the way between where you are now and that amazing vision for the future? Because there are another whole raft of things like, well, it's never going to happen. You're full of doubt. You're full of, just also frustration, impatience. But that big, how on earth is this going to happen? Because this is when our life unfolds to help support us in making that vision happen. So really, in my whole process, making the vision board is probably the least important aspect, because do you know what? Anyone can make a vision board. And this is when I realized everyone's vision boards look the same. They would literally flick through Country Living magazine, flick through the Sunday Times travel guide, flick through, some amazing, bikini bodies. But actually what people want are feelings. They want connection. They want love. They want feelings like freedom. And this is what people really want. And actually, what is experience that is going to help you create that feeling? Because, you know, ultimately we know there are celebrities, there are all sorts of famous people who have the vision board life, but they end up committing suicide. They're not happy. And ultimately, what does your big vision look like? And it could just be a cottage in the woods with a dog and a roaring fire, and that could be your idea of bliss. Or it could be the 8-figure business, you know, living in a Manhattan penthouse. You know, and when I talk about a big vision, everybody's big vision is so different, but it's only when you can connect to your heart and soul that you can really sink into the expansion and the true soul yearning, shall we say, of what that big vision looks like. Does that all make sense? I felt like it was a bit of a ramble there.
That totally makes sense. And I love it because for anybody who's sort of on a bit of research into the manifesting world, obviously it started with The Secret, but there's a lot of conversations about how The Secret was missing something, and what it was missing was the fact that it's who you need to become. So many of us spend our time going, I want this, I want that, I want this, I want that, but we don't believe that we can actually have it. Or if we then actually get it, freak out. Like, how many times have you wanted a promotion, and then when you got it, you're a bit like, oh, I don't deserve this promotion. What if I can't do the job? What if they find out? What if? And then suddenly something happens and it doesn't work out. So I love all of this. So Melanie, talk to us about sort of what you do, how you help people overcome the steps, the problems, the challenges on the journey.
I think, first of all, you've just got to kind of take a quick assessment of, you know, where you are in your life right now. And, you know, I talked about, you know, those crossroads. And, you know, so for me, the crossroads I see coming up is that my children are going to be, you know, leaving home in the next, I don't know. So my son's 16, he'll be going to university in a couple of years, possibly. And, you know, my daughter, you know, she's a couple of years behind him. And already I'm looking, and I'm not wishing that time away, but already I'm kind of looking at what's possible for me, you know, when that happens, because I know so many people suffer from that empty nest syndrome. They're bereft when their children leave. I actually see a sense of excitement for them because I'm excited to see them live their lives, but I'm excited kind of for me as well as to, you know, what else is possible. And I just think, you know, and sometimes, you know, when you're faced with something like a marriage breakup, which, you know, I went through a few years back, again, it's like, what's possible now? Because you can be consumed in that whole, oh God, I'm a single mum, I'm this, I'm that. And very often we look at the problems, but I look at the outcomes I want. I look at the possibilities. And that's what I want to help people do, that because sometimes we can just get trapped in the what is and the what's literally staring us in front of our face, that we can't see beyond that, and to actually an exciting world of possibilities. So I would say, if you're feeling a bit stuck or a little bit right now, just know that there are infinite. One of my favorite phrases is that there are infinite possibilities awaiting you. It's just opening up all those doors. They are there, but it's just like a little fog, and once that's lifted, oh my gosh, you're going to be amazed at what's, you know, beyond the fog.
I love it. I love this conversation, and I just have to say to everybody, if you've got any questions, put them in the chat. We are going to have Melanie back on the show again. Today there's been some technical difficulties insofar as background noise, which is why I've been quite quiet today. So apologies if you can hear any of that. They're quiet at the minute, so that's why I'm talking. But I just wanted to sort of ask a question in and around. So we've just had COVID. Well, we've still got it. Let's be frank. So we're kind of coming out of unlocks in different countries at different times. Is now a good time to be sort of dusting off that vision and revising it, setting new things? What if we've already got a vision board and we're looking at it? What would you advise to people who maybe sort of in the habit of creating them, or even somebody who hasn't? What would we be putting on these vision boards now based on what we've learned? Is it normal, I guess, that things are changing and people are saying, well, I don't necessarily want that house, or I don't necessarily want that
100%
that handbag anymore. I actually want something different.
I think this past year has caused us all to reassess our priorities and to look at things that, a bit differently. And I think for a lot of people, their visions have changed. They've enjoyed being at home with their families. A lot of relationships have ended during this time because they realize, I can't be in this house with this person, and I certainly am not going to be doing this for another 20 odd years. For others, it's strengthened that relationship. It's given us a whole new perspective on things. For a lot of people, it's made us look at life a lot in much simpler terms, and actually we don't need that much in order to be happy. So yeah, for a lot of my clients, definitely their visions have definitely changed. But looking at those 4 pillars, like, I'll be quite honest, beginning of last year, the relationships pillar in my life was just a big fat 0. Then I suddenly realized I need, I'm ready for a relationship now. And that's what I put my focus on. And yeah, and it worked. And I'm just coming up to a year now in a new relationship, and it's been lovely. But I needed a period of loneliness, of lockdown, to make me realize I'm a bit lonely now, and I'm ready to do something about it. So it is, what is that area of your life that, and it could, for me also, fitness was another one that I was snacking, as a lot of us were. The pounds were creeping on. I thought, actually, do you know what? This is going one direction, and it's not a good direction. And it made me, I took up running, and I really took my health seriously. And actually, the change was pretty quick. So I do think, changes can be quick. When we put focus and we dedicate some time to making that shift. Otherwise, the alternative is, which was the other choice for me, was just, another Netflix box set, which I wasn't prepared to do.
So knowing what we don't want helps us to know more of what we do want, but also exactly. I guess as well, like not making yourself wrong, because I had a period at Christmas where, and I have this funny thing with Netflix, like I'll get my account and I'll watch everything and then I'll delete my account. They must think I'm crazy, but maybe there are other people that do this, because I get to the stage where I've watched everything, and then it's given me the inspiration to say, okay, next level, this is what I want next, this is what I want next. So this is so helpful, and I'm sure that people who are listening either live or on the replay are hearing the things that they need to hear right now, because it is strange, uncertain times, and everything is changing. So Melanie, I know you've got an exciting challenge coming up. Why don't you tell us a bit more about that?
Well, every year I do something called the 5-day prosperity party, and it started off as a little experiment for myself about 5 years ago, where I just had this week where the car broke down, and financially I was a little bit strapped and a bit challenged, and I thought to myself, I really could do with £1,000 coming to my life this week. And I remember at the time, I do remember an app called Periscope. So I was really active on Periscope, and I literally did daily broadcasts to share my challenge with the world, and this social experiment to see if I could manifest £1,000 out of the blue. So I did daily tapping. I talked about it, and I said, come and tap along with me. Who needs to manifest some money in their lives this month? And let's face it, I think we could all. There's nobody who would say, I couldn't. Do you know what? I'm all right. I don't need.
No one would say no to £1,000. Let us know in
Exactly.
the comments if you'd like £1,000 right now, or €1,000 or $1,000.
Exactly.
I think everybody would be like, yeah, okay, cool.
So the weird thing was, by the end of that week, £1,000 did come to me out of the blue from unexpected channels. More clients, and the weirdest thing was I found £200 in cash in an envelope behind my microwave, and now. At the time, because my marriage just ended, my parents, were very, kind. They did support me financially. And my dad at the time, he'd very often just used to just kind of say, here, Mel, here's a couple of £100. But what must have happened was they must have just put it on my mic, and they often didn't tell me, and it must have just slipped or something. But I didn't know about it. And it was covered in dust, and it must have been there for ages. And I thought, oh my gosh, £200 out of the blue. So that was just one silly little thing. But anyway, by the end of the week, I'd manifested £1,000. So a few months later, I did it as an actual challenge, and this is the 5th year now I've done it as an actual thing. It's called the 5-day prosperity party, and it's 5 days to manifest money out of the blue. I set my intention that everyone will manifest £500, dollars or euros, whatever their currency is. So it should be an amount of money that's kind of that would make a difference in your pocket in 5 days, but not too unbelievable. So I'm not expecting people to, right, I'm going to win the lottery this week or anything like that. And I've had thousands of people go through the challenge now, and each year the results just blow me away. You know, that people literally, money out the blue, you know, old savings account, you know, that 20 years old, in their maiden names suddenly been unearthed with like 2,000 quid in it. One guy in America who's like a jobbing actor, he got a part in Grey's Anatomy, and also won a $65,000 lawsuit that had been on the back burner for 15 years, and it all came that week. And just so many fun, amazing little synchronicities. And it's 5 days, 5 lessons. It's in a private Facebook group. It's and it's just so much fun. It really is. It's brilliant. So it starts on the 17th of May, and I'd love to welcome anyone who'd like to just participate. You know, so come with an open mind. It's a bit woo, it's a bit out there, and yeah, we have a lot of fun in the process.
Love it, love it. And I'm excited to do it. And here's my thing in life. If you don't try it, you'll never know. So maybe it works, maybe it doesn't work, but in trying it, you'll know if it works or it doesn't work. And also you'll start to identify your limiting beliefs about, well, it can work for everyone else, but it can't work for me, which is one of the biggest sort of foundational limiting beliefs. I'm sure that's one of your 8. Like, everybody else can have it, but I can't have it. And the other thing that I love about all of this is, like, where your attention goes, your energy flows. So it's just an opportunity to just go into a bubble of belief and see what happens. And I love science experiments. We did them as kids at school, so why can't we continue to do them in our adult life? So Melanie will leave the links for all of that, and if anybody wants to join us, then we'd love to see you there, and let's see what we can manifest. And if you don't want the money, I'm sure there are other people that you can give it to, charities or friends or family members. There's, you know, lots of things out there these days.
Well, there's a wonderful day. I can't remember. I think it's day 2 of the Prosperity Party, where it's all about giving, and the whole philosophy is that we give in order to receive. And that day is probably the most abundant day, because it's a gift exchange in the group, and there are literally all sorts of amazing things flying across the world. You know, physical things, energetic things, and that is, you know, you're going to get benefit of your. It's £5 to do the challenge. You get benefit of that reward usually on day 2 anyway, just by the gifts that we have on offer in the group.
Amazing. I love it. So just before we wrap up, I've got to do a shout out. We've got Germany in the house. Hi, Karima. And we've got Spain in the house. Hi, Maria. And if you're watching on replay, I hope you have enjoyed this, and we look forward to seeing you in Melanie's challenge. And also, if you're on Clubhouse, Melanie is on Clubhouse, and she's amazing on there too.
It's been a bit quiet recently, but I am going to be back this week. So yeah, look forward to seeing you all there.
And I'm back on Clubhouse tomorrow doing a room on under the Productive Wellbeing Show Club. So can't wait for that also. So many exciting things. Oh, and for those of you who are interested and have already pre-ordered my book, it's going to the printers tomorrow. So this copy of the book is going to be in your hands very soon. I'm so excited because it has been a labor of love. It was supposed to be an update or like a revision, and it's kind of been a major update. So there's so much stuff in there, and I literally have had to draw a line now and say that's it, it's got to go to the printers, because I could just go on and on and on and on and on, because I'm so excited to keep adding stuff. But yeah, so can't wait for that to come out too. So Melanie, where is the best place for us to connect with you online?
My social media handle is at I am Melanie Moore, literally everywhere. Facebook, Instagram, Clubhouse, they're the key places. I'm on Twitter. I don't really tweet very much, but yeah, at I am Melanie Moore, that little
amazing
symbol.
Amazing. So,
and I'll get you all the links to the Prosperity Party and everything.
Fabulous. So Melanie is like me when someone asked me this in an interview, where are you? I said, oh, I'm here. So they were basically like, yeah, everywhere. And I was like, yeah.
Just DM me. You'll find me.
Just Google it and you'll find it. Oh, Melanie's also got an amazing YouTube channel as well. And if you were wondering what EFT and tapping
I forgot about that.
Then check out Melanie's YouTube channel, which
it's Melanie Moore EFT.
Amazing, amazing. Well, thank you so much. Thank you for your time. Look forward to having you back on again without background noise. And
Thank you, Abigail. Bye from
until next
Italy.
time. Oh, bye. Until next time, everyone, stay safe, stay well, and keep washing those hands.